Oh.
Alt F4 or
Alt what?
function F4.
Function F4. There we go. Hi, everybody. I'm at the Pyro Playground. I said, hey, at some point during the 2-day event, I want to get out from behind backstage and, come see what the thing's all about. So I'm here in Pyro. Why don't you come around here and see? I am, of course, an expert Star Citizen player. Come on over here. You see what I'm doing? I am attempting to open a door right now. How do I open the door, Daniel? It's not this door? That's not the door? Also, you're not Daniel, are you? You're Adam. All right, so we are here. What station is this, Adam? No, remember?
Checkmate.
No, put the mic in.
Oh, this is Checkmate.
This is Checkmate. This is Checkmate Station. So this is where the demo starts. And what do we do when we're here at the demo?
This is where your habs are. So, yeah, you can't go back in.
Okay.
You want to go straight. You want to follow the exit signs. So left. And those are your elevators.
Are these ones going to kill me?
No, these should not be the death elevators.
Not even in Pyro?
No guarantees on that.
I want you to go on record. Look at that camera and say the elevators in Pyro won't kill you.
I'm gonna say no guarantees that the elevators on Pyro won't kill you.
All right, so we take the elevator, and where do we go next?
You're gonna go to the entrance.
All right. Push the button. Look at this guy.
So one of the other players will do it for you.
There you go. So, no, show the screen. Show them Pyro. Let them see Pyro. People are tired of seeing my dumb face. There we are. So where am I going now, Adam?
You want to make a left?
This way?
No, you went too far. You gotta follow the exit signs.
I don't see anything.
There you go.
All this environmental storytelling.
Yeah, this is the experience that you just walked through.
All right, up here?
Yep.
And another elevator. All right. So what does this say here? Do you know?
I can't read. I know that's rough and ready for the top part.
All right, yeah. So Rough and Ready are the gang that runs the Checkmate
Correct.
Station. All right. Well, everybody, I am not going to subject you to my first time here in Pyro for any longer. We're going to throw it to the first of our two-part environmental presentations, starting with Living on the Edge. So take it away, everybody, and I don't know, watch it. It's good.
Hi, everyone. My name is Colin Chuckett. I'm the lead level designer for the PU. I will give you an introduction to our locations when it comes to the design, a high-level overview of the design of our locations. I'm going to describe you the processes of our workflow and the goals that we aim to achieve. So, to break down our process a bit, this is very high level, but it starts out with a pre-production phase, an ideation phase. Here everything starts out in the mind. We bring it down to paper, sketch, write, formulate a plan based on our overall design goals. And then it moves on to the blocking stage. You might have heard of this, like the white box and gray box phase. This essentially contains all of the gameplay that you would see in the final product. Basically, the way it's meant to be played, and we test this out with a lot of iteration.
Oh, Entschuldigung. Danke, Luna.
And yeah, a lot of testing.
Willkommen zurück, habe ich nur gesagt.
And it's basically, the white box is not in a stage where it's presentable.
Und
that comes
das
now.
Panel ist Living on the Edge.
So on the right, as you see, the food
Also-
court that Adam is going to be showing you later. Yeah, this is the final product, VFX, lighting, everybody had their pass on this. And level design or other designers still maintains the space and makes sure that the systems that get created are being retroactively implemented. All right, so one key aspect of game development in general is the balance of narrative, visuals, and gameplay. So all these interplay,
Citizen hat
they
nur
interconnect,
visuals.
and it's the foundation that runs through all game environments. So it's important to communicate context, and here in this draw over, you see that narratively, we see sort of a dangerous environment, the spiky shapes here are sort of threatening. We see defensive structures, we can expect some enemy NPCs here, but it's also an old village. Maybe there's some exploration, some loot to be found. And then what's also important is communicating goals. So goals can be the pathways that you take, the gateways that bring you from one step to another, and so on. Okay, whoops. Yep, there we go. Okay, since we're a sandbox game, accommodating playstyles is pretty important. So playstyles meaning going guns and blazing, shooting at everything and everybody, going more of a stealthy, infiltration-y pathway if you wanted to, but also all the social aspects that you know from Stanton. And to do this, we established, so one of the core design philosophies is granting the player the freedom of choice to do what they want to do at any point throughout their experience. And we do this by establishing or defining multiple pathways of, or archetypes that we call primary, secondary, and tertiary pathing. So the first one is pretty straightforward. In a social setting, you have the goal right in front of you, and
Da ist Freeze auch wieder.
it's a single goal, such as here in the Habs. In a combat setting, this is very exposed, so it's dangerous to traverse this route. Where it gets more complex is when you have, such as with this outpost here, when you have multiple goals that can be equally important to the player at any given point. This is where we need to have a bit more
Flugzeug and Star Citizen
design
confirmed.
put into it with,
Da ist es
for
ja
example, the
eingezeichnet.
landmarks that serve as orientation points. So to help you orientate yourself wherever you are in this location. And leading you to these locations by
Mittagspause.
utilizing shape language and composition. The second path is, these are secondary pathways, so these are alternative routes. And these are options that are offered to you as you traverse the area on the primary path, for example. And so you may know this as a tourist when you go to a new city and you look around the corner and you see an alleyway that sort of looks nice and it evokes your curiosity and you want to investigate.
Der Arme,
In a
dem
combat
das
setting,
Zittern in der Stimme.
these are covered
Der arme
approaches
Kerl,
or
aber macht das gut.
opportunities for you to flank the enemy to get to your goal, which could be this building on that sketch. Yeah, versus more open spaces. When you have, in a combat setting, in open spaces, you tend to be a bit more
Und es-
stationary because you want
Es
to
gibt
feel
schon
more
Gerüchte,
secure.
dass es dann wirklich noch
unless
was
you're in a
Großes
vehicle.
geben soll. Große Ankündigung.
The third path
Mal
is tertiary pathing. So these are more hidden infiltration routes,
Nicht in dem
especially
Panel, aber
discoverable
dann zum
throughout
Schluss.
the rundown stations that Anna will be presenting later on. And these are mostly discoverable to the attentive eye. You can explore these, find loot, or different routes to traverse through the station. Environment interactivity. You might have seen this in a previous presentation. It's very important to ground the player to their environment, offering them ways of interaction, being able to change the state of rooms, to toy with the AI, or just simply being able to unblock your pathway. Where it gets a bit more complex is when you talk about resource network systems, such as in day one when Torsten mentioned that we are planning to implement this as well in locations. And this will allow the player to engage with their environment in different ways. They will be able to power up or down entities such as turrets, gates, and doors, and also alter life support systems. And also this ties into security systems. So being able to power up or down certain sections of a security system. And security systems in turn will be dependent on security tokens that you will be able to grab from other NPCs in your environment to then gain access to other terminals, to security terminals or other areas. Reputation is a big topic for us, especially with Pyro. So reputation, what does it mean? It means that it's
Das
basically
Ding da
your
hinten sieht ein
standing,
bisschen aus wie ein
your
Schrottpanzer und ich
relationship with
feier's.
factions, and factions are the UEE in Stanton, or outlaw gangs, especially now in Pyro. And this will define your play style within this environment. So it will define how you experience the location that you're in a more social context or in a more combative context. So we talk about reputation gates as well, especially in the later presentations. So in the case of the food court, in the rundown station, we have multiple floors. So the first floor is the gang floor, and that might require you to have a better relationship with the owner of this location, which then will give you unique mission givers that you can go to and accept a mission that are offering you missions themed after the faction or the owner of this location, but also give you access to unique gear, collectibles, ship weapons and items. You might have seen these locations in the demo.
Danke, Freeze.
So to close this all off
Der
and
ist
move
dann
on to the
natürlich für
other
euch alle
presentations,
geöffnet.
the glue behind
dass du
all
das
of our
entscheiden
locations
kannst.
is the content. It is the reason why you go to these locations in the first place, and our main goal right now is to not have that divide between social and gameplay as much as we do in Stanton, but mix it up a little and make that dependent on the reputation that you have with the factions or the owners of these locations. And yeah, we're looking into more content. As you've seen listed there, there's a bunch of new stuff coming as well. With the later presentations, for example, with the logistics hubs in the second portion, we're also looking into raids. But yeah, that's it for me.
Raids.
I will pass it over to Eddie now. Hope you've enjoyed this. Take care. Bye.
Der ist gerade so erleichtert.
Hi, everybody.
Ja, man hat's richtig gesehen.
So, I'm Eddie. I'm an assistant art director on Star Citizen for locations. Before we start, I'd like to mention that all of the footage we're about to see comes from our current stable builds. So all of that beautiful tech, all of those features that we've seen in the last 2 days is coming from our tech development builds. Now, all those features are going to make their way to you, of course, eventually. But that is the reason you're not going to see some of them in the builds today.
Natürlich,
Just wanted to get ahead
vielleicht.
of the comments a little bit there. So with that said, what am I going to be talking about? Well, I'm really excited to show you that the hard work that the Sandbox One team have been doing to expand our new outpost locations. I'm going to start by going over how we've expanded the library and what that means we can now achieve with the new locations, and then how we achieve that variety from the library by categorizing our locations into both archetypes and themes, and what that means for you as a player. So, I don't know if you remember this, but at CitizenCon in 2021, we showed this new style of outpost for the first time. Now, at this point, we had our art style locked in. We'd worked on our library of content to the point where we could make smaller locations like this one, but with a limited amount of variety between each one. And this is what that library of modules looked like at that point. We'd established our main building modules, as well as some of our larger buildings and a number of smaller secondary and dressing and standalone modules. But each outpost couldn't be too large without there being some obvious repetition between the modules used. So let's have a look at that library today.
Ja, mehr
So,
ähnlich aussehende Gebäude. Sehr gut.
in order to achieve that greater visual and design delta between each outpost and have them not feel like exact clones of one another, we've massively expanded our module library in terms of breadth and depth. And what I mean that, we go broad by making more modules with different purposes, and we go deep by creating multiple thematic overlays for each of those modules as well. And I'll go into what that means a little bit in a minute. But the
Ich
challenge
liebe
of a
diese
sandbox
neuen
location like this,
Landing-Spots,
as you can see,
diese
it's not about
runden
building a single
Landeareale.
unique location.
Ich hoffe, die gibt es
That
auch
can
noch
be
in
quite
größeren Versionen.
straightforward, to be fair. It's about giving our artists and designers the building blocks, the affordance to build multiple locations that all feel somewhat different, even if they do share that same basic DNA. So it's about creating both the ingredients at the same time as the recipes, and making sure all of those flavors work in harmony with one another for both visuals and gameplay. So every individual part has to take into consideration all of those design philosophies. So every single module has to take into consideration those design philosophies that Khan mentioned. But we also have to make sure that they work with those same principles when an artist or a designer combines them into any one of a number of different layouts. So the more ingredients we have to work with, the more recipes we can create, But with that complexity comes the challenge of keeping everything harmonious. So we like to think we've done a pretty good job with that. But that's
Das sieht richtig aus wie
using
eine
this
kleine
expanded
Stadt.
library, we've been able to increase
Oder
the
Siedlung
individual
oder so.
location size.
Wie auch immer
Because
man es
there's
nennen
less
will.
of that obvious repetition between
Das sieht
buildings
cool
within any
aus.
single location. And we can't really call
Endlich.
some of these large locations outposts anymore. They become something more like settlements and imply a larger and more established community. Now, as a
Das sieht
player, it will
richtig,
mean a
richtig
lot
cool
more
aus.
to explore and do at any single individual location with a localized and personal feeling mission types that might see you moving around a single settlement to complete objectives or doing short hop missions between clusters of settlements on a single planet. So you might head up to a ridge to repair some wind turbines. You could counter an outlaw attack from a neighboring outpost, or on the opposite side, you might be stealing or destroying vehicles for the criminal gang that you're working for. But in the art department, we always say, show, don't tell. So let's stop looking at slides and let's have a look at some of the locations in game.
Ja, Schrottsiedlung. Bisschen so eine kleine Farmsiedlung oder so. Eher Industrie. Also ich finde die alle richtig cool. Auch mit den Straßen und so. Ich hätte nur doch gerne noch so größere und kleinere von diesen Landearealen, die so ein bisschen in den Boden rein sind. Das finde ich total cool. Davon dann noch verschiedene Größen. Okay, hier ist einfach ein Scheiterhaufen in der Mitte. Alright. Genau, für Freeze fehlt hier natürlich noch die Origin-Style-Siedlung, aber da muss er wohl auf Terra warten oder ähnliches. Ja, nice. Sieht cool aus. Sieht cool aus. Das sieht wirklich mal aus wie richtige Siedlungen.
So,
Nicht
what
nur kleine
flavors of
Außenposten.
outposts did we just see there? Well, we categorize them in two different ways, as I said, and then we mix and match those categories together to provide that variation. Now, the first and primary category is the archetype, and they provide that core
Reysn, du
gameplay
brauchst keine
hook and
sauberen
define the
Siedlungen. Du
main
kommst doch mit
function
der
for a
400i an.
settlement. So scrapyards have a landing
bist
pit
deine eigene
module for
Siedlung.
repairs and refueling. Mining operations can have a refinery module and ore extractors for resource and commodity trading. And trading posts themselves allow a broader range of item purchases through the dedicated trade building module. And I mentioned earlier some more like general mission types that you might find that would be agnostic of archetype. And the archetypes themselves reflect that primary gameplay function of a settlement, but there's also a middle layer. Of course, we don't want these locations to just be a glorified shop or repair station. So
Ich
there's
fände es
more
gut, wenn Freeze
secondary
einfach
activities to do
noch
locally
mehr
to an
Origin
outpost that are
Owner
also
alle
defined by its
zusammen
archetype.
bringt an eine Stelle und ihr
So you may
einfach
find
mit Schiffen eine
scrapyards can
Siedlung
offer
baut.
salvage-related gameplay and missions. Trading posts can also offer delivery missions or hauling and cargo gameplay. And farms can offer crops and fauna as resources for gathering or trading. So with archetypes as our primary category, in addition, we mix in a secondary category, and these are the thematic overlays. Now, at the moment, we have two main themes. Internally, we call these independent and outlaw. So themes offer additional variation on top of the archetypes to inform the look and feel of a location, not just visually, but which people you'll interact with there, how they'll respond to you based on your rep, what types of missions you'll have available to take on. So themes don't change the fundamental architecture of a space or the archetype of a location, but they do drastically alter the mood and feel, as well as altering the gameplay experience significantly. And again, let's take a look at the first of our themes, our independent theme.
Ja, quasi das sind die in Anführungszeichen sauberen Siedlungen einfach von Siedlern, die dort leben, oder was? Sieht so aus. Auch da ganz schön dreckig alles. Kann auch mal durchfegen, aber ist wohl einfach staubig dort. Ja, wenn die Leute ja die ganze Zeit mit Schuhen rumlaufen. Das ist Pyro. Ja, oder Tatooine. Es hat was davon auf jeden Fall. Das feiere ich. Ist stimmungsvoll.
Cool. Thank you.
Sieht gemütlich aus, oder?
So,
Gemütlicher als
as
alles
a
in
neutral
Stand.
player, the independent theme presents a much more social, visual and gameplay experience.
Ich meine, Freeze, wenn du es
The
hübsch haben willst,
primary
dann geh halt
visual
nach
read across
Horizon
both
oder
themes,
Microtech.
so across both Outlaw and Independent, comes from those common architectural forms, and they're generally all more rounded and soft in shape, and the
Da
building
liegen nur
manufacture
Blütenblätter auf
techniques
dem Boden.
are more robust and primitive, with single-story dwellings built from stucco and bare metal. But for this theme specifically, we use
Das
soft
weiß ich nicht, Paco.
textiles, warm lighting and color palettes, foliage, decoration that layer on top of those utilitarian structures to give that sense of home. And I use the word home for our independent theme quite a lot because we really want to get that feeling that this is home for the people that live there despite those harsh realities of frontier life. And in contrast to that, we have a theme that lies in
Ja, kannst du mir dann
direct
ab und zu mal einen
opposition to the
vorbeibringen,
independence, which we
Freeze?
call the
So
Outlaw
einen schönen
theme.
Space Cocktail.
So let's take a look at that now as well.
So ein paar Kisten nette Getränke. Ja, also Raumschiffssiedlung finde ich auch cool. Ja, also so Fauna gibt es nicht so wirklich, wie es aussieht. Bisher. Ich vermisse die Krabben, diese riesigen Krabben. Die aussehen wie Steine und dann meterhohe Gefahren darstellen.
So the Outlaw theme tells that story of these once functional settlements being completely overrun by the various criminal elements that inhabit the system. And visually, we have themes of a regressed and subverted civilization. So we layer on top of the architecture these spiked and aggressive forms, and we have evidence of a squalid living arrangements, and lighting comes from fires or poorly maintained fixtures. Some spaces are going to be recognizable as deformed versions of the independent theme, but some have been completely changed to more nefarious purposes. And while both themes employ all of the various alternative pathing and traversal considerations that Khan detailed just earlier, the Outlaw spaces are weighted more towards combat. But just because these spaces are more dangerous and the experience can be more combative, that doesn't mean that the archetype of the outpost is lost. So if you as a player choose to be a criminal working up your rep with a headhunter gang, you'd be welcome at the trading posts, and you'd be able to buy and sell items or take on missions. But you probably won't then be very welcome at the independent-themed locations, and that's where you'd get your combat experiences. So while the Outlaw theme looks very different, the functionality of those archetypes still remain.
Das ist gut.
So
Das ist cool.
I've talked about the kinds of outposts we've been hard at work on, and I hope you've enjoyed checking them out over the last 2 days in the Pyro demo. It's really made me very pleased to see people playing our content at last, so thank you for that. But where are we heading from here? Well, I hope it should be obvious that we're going to get these out for the first Pyro release. We still have some final optimization and polish passes to do across the whole library. We're also going to be expanding the amount of these locations throughout Pyro and beyond. And our tools allow us to do that very quickly now. And we've got the library as well to do it. And the new outposts are not limited to the Pyro system. They're completely system agnostic, so you can expect to see these outposts in other systems as well.
Okay, also
And of
vielleicht
course,
kriegt man die auch in
we're going to look
Stand.
to add more ingredients, more of those modules to the library as well, to further expand the variety and depth you'll be able to see at these new locations. We want to encourage more on-foot gameplay within a small ecosystem of a planet to give that more localized and personal feeling experience. Our goal with these locations, as with many of the others we're going to hear about today, is to continue to work on the gameplay so that every location offers a rich playground to explore. And I guess I'd like to finish just by thanking everyone for listening today. It's really great to see you all. And I'm going to pass you over to Nick, who's going to talk about some locations that are coming in the nearer future. Thank you.
Es soll auch noch
Bonjour tout le monde. Juhu! We are French Canadian on the.
Ja, egal, egal. Nee, hab ich mich verlesen, entschuldigt.
All right, guys. My name is Nicolas Pinchot. I'm from Montreal. I'm assistant art director, and I'm here today to show you the next new derelict settlement we did. But just before that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who worked on that mandate. You guys made an awesome work. I'm super happy and proud to be here today to show you that, all of you guys and to the world. So let's go to the chase and let me present you the new derelict settlement.
So, die sind also auch komplett dann quasi aus Schrott gebaut. Oh, schön mit dem Schnee. Tja, im Parkour bin ich hier, der kann sich so eine Pioneer leisten. Ich glaube, das Thema hatten wir schon mal irgendwann, dass quasi vermutlich, also wir sind ja privilegiert, dass wir überhaupt Raumschiffe und sowas fliegen können. Und das ist, da sind ja wohl die armen Schlucker, die dann irgendwo sich was aus Schrott aufbauen müssen, weil sie wollen halt siedeln, haben aber kein Geld für was anderes und dann leben sie halt dort und bauen aus Schrottzeug zusammen. So ist mein Verständnis zumindest. Deren Armut kotzt mich an, genau. Aber da die Bar ist schön beleuchtet, also auf geht's. Hey, hält einen ja keiner davon ab. Oh, was ist das für eine geile Ölplattform? Eine Flammenwerferplattform. Warum nicht? Ist ja auch was. Zuweilen wirkt meine Art auf den gemeinen Pöbel arrogant. Aber ich wollte doch nur sagen, ihr könntet doch besser leben, wenn ihr mehr Geld mal haben würdet. Also strengt dich an. Und Freeze, siehst du, der will sogar direkt dort leben. Also es gibt eine Zielgruppe dafür.
Pretty cool, guys, eh? Oh, by the way, we made more than 4. It's not just 4. We made more than that. So we split those settlements into categories, social and hostile. In the social one, we will have drop-off mission, shops, food, loots, and drinks. And hostile one, obviously, will be more focused combat. Let me show you what it looks like.
Oh ja, eine Box Delivery Mission. Oh, geil. Such Gameplay. Ja, das, was Mr. D sagt. Wir sind halt wir sind schon die High-Class-Mitglieder der Society, indem wir überhaupt Raumschiffe haben. What's in the box? Shops gibt's auch. Bars. Wir dürfen auch eins nie vergessen bei Citizens. Ganz oben steht immer die Rule of Cool. Und wenn Chris sagt, es gibt sowas, dann gibt's sowas. Dann gibt's hier die Schrott-Settlements. Der Sound ist wieder ganz leicht asynchron.
I like the end. The end's awesome. All right, in summary, guys, we're going to have a lot of new location on planets, links with nice mission and good gameplay. And the most important, all those locations will be in Q4 this year, available in the game.
Was hat er gesagt? Wann sind die available in game? In 2 or 4 years?
So thank you very
Oder in
much. I
diesem
will
Jahr?
let now Adam
Was hat er
show you
gesagt?
more good stuff.
Das Screenshot ist herausfordernd.
Well done, mate.
Stimmt, Pyro ist auch Hiker für Bauunternehmen, ja. New Harbor. Ja, geil, es hat daran erinnert, der Screenshot.
All right. So, welcome to Rust Up Stations. I'm Adam Sanders, lead environment artist for EUL1. We're excited today to show you our efforts for the Pyro Rest Stop Stations.
Auf jeden Fall eine ganze Menge coole
what
neue
are Pyro
Locations.
Rest Stop
So,
Stations?
das ist ja was Schönes.
Well,
auf
these
jeden
are
Fall.
stations reinvented. These have new themes, archetypes, and gameplay to support new and interesting experiences. Aside from the social aspects, there is gameplay and exploration on the location. I've hoped you had a chance to play the demo over the past couple of days. I know I've spoken to a few of you. It's pretty good, right? Yeah? It was a sneak peek of our current progress. Let's kick off with an overview of the Pyro system. For the Pyro system release, we plan on 6 planets and 26 stations, including jump point stations that
26
connect to
Stationen.
Stanton and future systems such as
Das
Magnus.
ist ja richtig viel.
Rest stop stations are either in rundown or abandoned states. Citizens of Pyro, the Rough and Ready Outlaws, and Xenothreat may control these. Our focus today will on the Rough and Ready owned, Pyrotech Amalgamated, Fuel and Resource Station, Planet 2, Lagrange Point 4, otherwise known as Checkmate Station.
Das sieht halt wirklich ganz anders aus und richtig cool. Richtig geil, bedrohlich, massiv. Ja gut, die Station haben wir jetzt natürlich auch schon so oft gesehen, dass mir das jetzt keinen Staunen mehr abbringt. Von innen meine ich jetzt. So viele Insetzer Citizens, wo wir das gesehen haben. CitizenCon. Es gab auch noch weitere irgendwie Videos zwischendurch, wo wir das immer wieder gesehen haben. Sneak Peeks und sowas. Warum die Privataufnahmen von meinem Keller her? Das ist eine gute Frage für Reysn.
So to create a richer experience from rundown stations, we have 3 key points. So increased reputation gives you access to new areas, unique gear, and mission givers.
So wie ich das gerade verstanden habe, sind ja nicht alle Stationen in Betrieb. Es sind ja kaputte
such as the hubbed clinics,
und auch
which need
feindliche.
at least a neutral standing with their owners. Combat can take place anywhere, including social areas. Numerous options for environment traversal and enhanced environmental interactions. We aim to include new substation areas such as the workers area, lower deck, and maintenance areas. These areas will offer unique content, more environment interactivity, and interconnection between areas. Our journey begins when the player arrives in the entry deck view room. The entry deck serves as the first barrier between the outside world and the interior of the station. Some inhabitants are prevented from going inside and are stuck here with no means of getting out. Slums are formed beneath the bridge, smuggling routes established. Some shopkeepers will sell you water and food on your way into and out of the station. Let's have a look.
Okay, also die Stationen können quasi den Besitzer wechseln und dann wird automatisch das Branding ausgetauscht. Interessant. Das heißt, es könnte echt dynamisch werden. Da kannst du heute irgendwie bei einer Station noch landen und das nächste Mal, wenn du aufwachst auf der, könnte dich schon jemand anhaben und du musst irgendwie es noch zu deinem Schiff schaffen oder so. Future Gameplay, also jetzt noch nichts. Es gibt die Routen schon, aber es gibt noch kein Gameplay dazu. Das wäre lustig, Paco. So eine große Halle, wo einfach jeder alles machen kann, was er will.
So Khan touched on reputation earlier. Let's see how that is applied to the stations. So how does the reputation gate in the entry deck affect gameplay? What happens if we have good reputation? So if you had good reputation, you could go straight through. This is no fuss, and it's the quickest way to maneuver through the station. However, you've got to put the time and the effort in to get to this point. What happens if you neutral reputation? So you might be waved through, maybe you have to pay a bribe, and you don't want to pay, so you're going to have to find an alternate pathing. Or you're going to have to build up your reputation. If you have bad reputation, and for all you naughty ones out there, I know some of you exist, this applies to you. In short, you're going to have a tough time, but you have options. So stealth via other pathways might be one of those options. You build your reputation up from scratch, or you could probably fight. Let's focus on those alternate pathways. The modules in the station are broken up into several traversal areas. As with the other location archetypes, we define these spaces as secondary or tertiary routes, as opposed to the more official primary paths. Most modules are interconnected with vents and maintenance shafts. These reward the players with infiltration and exploration paths, as well as potential loot. So what alternative routes exist to access the station? We'll offer the opportunity to access the station through multiple EVA points on the exterior. it gives you the choice on how to tackle missions and reputation issues. These alternative entries allow the player to circumvent the ATC loop completely, useful for when your reputation with the owners would normally prevent you from going through more official ways. These server spaces that provide content aligned or against the owners of the station.
Das ist halt cool, weil das ist was es halt aktuell nicht gibt
to the stations. The stations are planned to house maintenance areas that increase the interconnection between all the different sub-areas of the station. They act as alternative pathways the player can take to traverse from the entrance area to the Galleria, for example. Now let's have a look at our main social space. The market. A central location for the controlling faction, it houses all their nefarious activities. You can participate in their endeavors if you have the right rep. Let's have a look at some of those key features.
Oh, wir können die Wendslug essen. Da, eine Sinat. Nom nom nom.
So the market is a social hub and a good example of mixing social and gameplay space, as mentioned by Khan earlier. Another reputation gate can be found in the market. The ground floor is open to the common public. The upper floor is reserved to rough and ready
Ja,
outlaws
die
and their
klatschen für
associates.
ein essbares Asset. So einfach
If you have increased
für ein Würstchen,
reputation,
das sich
you
bewegt.
can access the area. You can access this area, which gives you access to premium items, top-tier mission givers, and access to new areas. We plan to house mission givers in both tiers that will give you unique jobs to further your reputation and fame across Pyro. Now let's have a look at another theme. Abandoned is a new, non-social location theme. Let's have a quick look at the current abandoned area on Checkmate.
Ja, ja, echt so Freeze. Nee, ich denke, das wird auf jeden Fall, allein dass so viel an Reputation geknüpft ist, wird viel am Gameplay ändern. Upcoming features.
Thank you.
Ja, kann ich
So we have
verstehen,
entire
Freeze.
abandoned stations
Das
as separate locations.
Muss
On top
man
of
dann
that, there
wirklich
are
einfach
abandoned
sagen,
areas
das ist jetzt
within
das Gameplay
rundown
für mich.
stations, much
Ich
like
mache
the ones
das
you've
gerade in
probably seen in the
Skyrim
demo.
nochmal, wo ich auch wirklich
There will
einfach
be
nochmal
around
alles
15 of these around the Pyro
aufsauge, so
system.
richtig.
These are
Und
accessible
genieße
through
und nicht einfach nur
airlocks
durchrushe
and
durch alles.
breaches or other means.
Das ist schwierig,
We aim to
da ist man nicht
enhance
immer
all
in
the
der
space
Stimmung für.
locations with a lot more gameplay content. Loot runs, exploration, creatures, missions of various types with PvE and PvP content, just to name a few. We're also laying a focus on environment interactivity with potential retrofitting of occupied stations. With the future addition of security systems and the resource network system, we will have the means to further improve the experience within these spaces and offer new challenges. With power, life support, and gravity playing a key role to give the player a unique experience, especially in abandoned stations. So, what do Pyro rest stop stations bring to the game? So lots more variety in space stations, with more gameplay opportunities within a station location. Opportunities for exploration, hidden areas, multiple options for access or traversal. These are faction-owned, and reputation will affect the location and gameplay. These feature lots of new mission opportunities within social space and multiplayer opportunities for combat on location. So I hope you have enjoyed this sample of what stations will offer and had a chance to have a go on the demo.
Also erstaunlich viele
That
Stationen.
concludes
Ich
the
dachte
Living
echt,
on
es gibt nur
Edge
2 oder 3.
presentation. Thank you for your time.
Aber dann gibt es wohl doch ein paar mehr und die wechseln dann gegebenenfalls den Besitzer.
Hey, everybody. We are almost to the end of CitizenCon 2953. Can you believe it? 2 days? Pyro?
Nee, ich habe morgen keinen Urlaub, aber ich habe vorgeschlafen.
Starcloth? Star Hair?
Also das geht.
Star Citizen? All right, we still got one more presentation to go, but I have a couple announcements I have to make. This was just handed to me by the facilities team, so bear with me. Astropub, you're gonna need to redo your lore video on the history of the Zeus. Geo, you need to get some money. Authy, I need to be invited to the next ladies' night. Burks.
Yeah, weiß nicht, ob jetzt schon der große Knaller kommt. Jetzt kommt als nächstes das Panel Destination Adventure.
Fastcard,
wo es nochmal um Gameplay geht irgendwie.
Gabby,
Und
just thanks for my bracelet.
Weiß nicht, ob das schon der Knaller ist oder ob der dann danach kommt.
You know, that joke is so old, we would never, ever pay him. All right, so the only real announcement I have is that Hall B is closing at 4 o'clock. So that's approximately 15 minutes. So if you wanted to get merch or anything else, you wanted to peek at one last community booth, you've only got about 15 minutes left to do that before we close Hall B. In Hall B, the last 2 days, we've had our good friends at Atmo Esports. We're running their fight and flight competition. So I would like to invite 2 of the members of Atmo Esports, their founders, their creators, the big cheeses at the top, Crucian and Corsair. Come on up, man. You got 90 seconds to tell people about who you are, what you're about, and how the event went.
I'm Corsair, and this is Crucian, and we're from Atmo Esports. And we've just run Fight or Flight, the first live tournament experience here at CitizenCon 2023. We'd love to thank the staff and competitors.
Ich glaube eher Squadron 42 Release-Datum. Aber mal sehen.
Is that what that big group is?
Ich glaube, den Part machen sie gerade nur, weil sie tatsächlich noch ein bisschen Zeit jetzt übrig haben gerade.
Yeah, come on up, guys.
Come on up. Well, I just want to give a big thank you to the competitors who made this tournament happen. We have Lizzie B, Avenger 1, Verity, Cobra, Herbadiza. We got Sin, Astropub, G.I. Jew. We have Comet 15, Bognagus, Ms. Gabs, Schwang, Zero State, New Cabbage, Detox, and the Floor Mat. These guys have gone through adversity throughout this tournament, and they've done a fantastic job. So I just want to say thank you to the community who keeps supporting what we're doing. We'll love to be back in the future. And this community is the best community in the world. Thank you.
Take a bow, players.
All right, cool. Was auch immer.
And of course, if you were here watching this, you can check out the stream, the whole event, up on their Twitch channel, I presume. I should have checked beforehand. Thank you very much, everybody.
Best
Watch
Community
your step on the way down.
Pyro wird sich alle da nennen.
All right, I got one more housekeeping thing. There's a person not many of you know. He's an associate producer in our LA studio. And when
Leute,
the workload for this event became
Ihr wusstet es nicht, aber ich bin.
And as detailed as it was, we turned to him to help with our broadcast this weekend, and he rose up and he excelled like a champion. So I would like to formally introduce you to Dan Howbrick, who's been co-hosting the event. Dan, get on up here, man.
Süß. Okay. Er ist einmal über die Bühne gelaufen. Das finde ich sympathisch.
Now, we've got one more presentation. That's Destination Adventure. You're gonna see more about things underground, things up in space, and things I'm gonna let Todd Pappy tell you about. And then, of course, we'll let Chris Roberts come to stage, return to stage, and close out the event proper. So this is a sign-off for me. Thank you so much for being here at CitizenCon. And on behalf of Tyler and Leah, if I may,
die neuen Underground
thank you
Bases.
for making this event possible.
Doch. Und ich möchte mal
And you're
sagen,
gonna love what you're about to see, everybody.
ja, Disco. Alles gut. Wir freuen uns drauf. Destination Adventure geht los. Ich will nochmal darauf hinweisen, dass ich mich extra schick gemacht habe für das Ganze.
Hello and welcome to Destination Adventure.
Okay.
My name is John Griffiths. I'm the lead environment artist for EU Sandbox 2, and I'm the product owner for the distribution centers. Before we delve into, I'll put my slide on for a start. Before we delve into it, everything that you're going to see is currently in grey box, so just keep that in mind. So,
400i ist nur für dich
these distribution centers, what are they? Well, first off, they're the biggest location we have on the ground outside of landing zones.
Ja, Lünchen.
The reason why they're so big is intentional. We wanted them to accommodate as much world and mission-based gameplay as possible.
Das sieht cool aus.
Each location supports
fancy
multiple landing pads and hangars, making them accessible to as many players as possible at any one time. There's even a road network to support transit from the planet's surface.
Juhu, wir können mit unserem, es gibt einen Sinn für unsere Fahrzeuge.
So every distribution center will be owned by a faction. You know, depending on the faction and where the distribution center is located on the planet will determine its specialism. Now, each specialism will lend itself to different missions and gameplay opportunities. So let's talk about some factions for a moment. So, an example of a major faction would be the UEE. Now, at their distribution centers, they're likely to be more specialized towards military supply, research and development, or communications, you know, depending on which branch of the UEE
wir müssen die
it is.
STVO auch dann
They will have a
etablieren im
much
Verse.
stronger military presence in the area. And missions here may be more hostile with combat-orientated, team-based raid opportunities. Other examples of hostile gameplay that we're thinking of is
das war
hacking and
gerade auf
stealing,
Microtech.
searching for and destroying a specific item, tracking and eliminating any VIPs, and you know, everyone's favorite, eliminate all. Grey Cat Industrial would be an example of a minor faction. So their distribution centers will be more specialized towards gathering resources, manufacturing, assembly, shipping. There would be a security presence here, but it won't be that as strong as a major faction. And missions here would be more suited to friendly gameplay loops, though we won't be ruling out hostile missions like
aus Neapel zurückgekehrt.
Yes, some other friendly gameplay types. Cargo hauling, like I said, resource gathering and mining, maintenance of the location. But you know, that's enough of me talking about it. How about we show you where we're up to with these distribution centers?
Ja, das, ich war in Italien, Freeze. 2 Wochen. Mit Luna. Ein Vlog wann? Wir hatten überlegt, aber wir haben dann doch für uns genossen quasi. Es gibt Bilder und Videos, aber die sind nicht unbedingt YouTube-tauglich. Grüße an deinen Kater im Packen. Ja, also ich habe auch an euch gedacht. Okay, schön, da fahren sie jetzt durch. Cool, außer Rover. Der hat gerade einfach die Spur gewechselt beim Abbiegen, das ist ja auch toll. Ja, ich will eigentlich auch dann noch ein paar Bilder in Discord teilen. Wollte ich eigentlich direkt danach machen, aber dann war da so viel anderes los, dass wir die Bilder noch nicht bearbeitet und organisiert haben. Aber das kommt dann noch, keine Sorge. Bestimmt auch auf Patreon ein bisschen was nochmal extra. Ich sehe viel hin und her gefahren, ich sehe noch kein Gameplay. Und nicht so schöne Bilder von meinem Lündchen.
Thank you. So to talk you through the corporate spaces at these locations, please welcome Rainer Rick to the stage.
Hello. So my name is Rainer Rick. I'm a lead environment artist at the Montreal studio.
Bisschen rumfahren.
And we've been working with John's team on the distribution centers.
Cool wär's, Freeze.
So John just showed how massive these locations are. He also presented the industrial sections on the ground level. And I'm here to present the administrative area of these facilities that the Montreal team has been working on. So they're located above ground, just below the tower highlighted in the picture. Inside, you'll be able to explore the corporate office space and interact with the administrative personnel. Accessible via the lifts and the hangars, and also the industrial sections we saw earlier. In addition, we've added also landing pads in front of the lobby, specifically designed for smaller ships and ideal for short stays like pickup or delivery missions. And we can't ignore the fantastic views we have from these platforms. A reminder of the vastness of these facilities. Now, let's step inside the lobby. You'll find the atrium, which is a central point of the administrative area, providing access to various locations of the corporate space. Within this space, you'll find the reception desk, and as a newcomer, you'll be expected to report here first. So here you can hand over your deliveries or pick up packages and earn reputation points with that faction. So also expect to see corporate ownership reflected through branding, color schemes, and product placement throughout the corporate hub. And with the use of overlays, we'll be able to swap these out depending on the ownership. And here's an example with Grey Cat showcasing their vehicles and some shiny armor. And back on the topic of reputation, as it grows, you can expect to gain access to the executive office spaces. From here, you'll meet with unique quest givers, and depending on your reputation level, you'll receive various mission types, either friendly or hostile. And finally, the distribution centers were designed as an evolving location. We've built this with future expansion in mind. And in the back of the lobby, for example, doorways could eventually lead to additional office space. So, enough talk. Just before I show our progress so far, I want to give a big thank you to the Montreal team for their work on the administration area. Thank you. And as John mentioned, we're still in gray box space, so just keep that in mind. But let's take a look.
Das heißt, es wird eventuell noch mal ein bisschen hübscher, aber ist schon super so. Eine C8R landet. Ist gar keine C8R, oder? Doch. Keine Ahnung. Natürlich salutieren die NPCs, wenn wir dort landen. Schön wär's. Wäre cool, wenn man genug Reputation hat, dass sie das dann wirklich machen oder so. Ja, die salutierenden T-Pose. Das fände ich eigentlich auch geiler. Überall die Big Benny's Vending Machines und die funktionieren immer noch nicht. Getränkeautomaten und Essensautomaten, wann? Natürlich. Das war, glaube ich, keine C2. Ich glaube, es war eine A2.
Thank you very much. And now let me welcome back John on stage. He's going to continue the presentation. Thanks a lot, guys.
Team did a great job with that video.
Man kann ruhig die
Okay,
abheben.
so
Warum nicht?
something we've been working on that's unique to this location is raids. Click on. So raids are team-based missions with a focus on high-risk, high-reward operations. As Carl mentioned previously, you'll be able to choose how you gain entry to these locations. Coming prepared and geared up will make the difference between success and failure. Ultimately, you'll need to work together in order to succeed. So these raids will have you breaching the interior of the main structure, highlighted here. Now, each interior will comprise of rooms that reflect the location's specialism. For example, a shipping-focused distribution center will have rooms dedicated to the storage of cargo. Looking to the future, we're planning on having distribution centers with subterranean levels that will be accessed from this interior space. These will expand upon and increase the difficulty of these raids. Now let's take a look at one of these raid missions in action. But please note that this is early gameplay prototype of a raid.
Der eine Typ, der einfach ganz casual dastand. Was ist das und warum liebe ich es? Man läuft einfach da. Das ist ja so geil. Das ist ja so eine geile Hammerplattform-Idee. Du stehst da einfach drin und schiebst es rum. Ist das lustig? Ach, ist das geil. Aber ja, genau sowas brauchen wir. Das ist super. Nur dafür hat sich das ganze Panel gelohnt hier. Okay, Raids bedeuten, man bricht da ein, holt irgendwas raus. Ja, gell? Es ist nicht mal CIG nutzt die Stil, einfach die normale Cutlass. Oder war es vielleicht wenigstens die Dropship-Variante? Nee, gell? Ach, die Stil ist doch die Dropship-Variante, ich dödel. Ich dachte gerade, nee. Ich dödel. Ich dachte, es gibt noch eine extra Dropship-Variante.
And it may make it easier for you to avoid obstacles in your path. Now, reputation will also tie into these raids. Missions will have varying objectives depending on the player's reputation level, and dynamic events may also be triggered during the raid, so players will need to adapt to an evolving situation. This could range from dealing with additional security personnel to other players arriving to defend the location against you. Something else we've been prototyping is how we can utilize the multi-tool to create gameplay puzzles. Physically interacting with the environment around you changes the puzzles for everybody. With multiple add-ons for the tool available, you may have to get creative when finding a solution to the problem in front of you. In this next video, we show you how using the tractor beam attachment can open up new paths to your objective, but it's up to you to decide what path you can create with what is available. Let's watch the video.
Okay, man bastelt sich quasi einen Weg. Okay. Es ist still. Ist eine lustige Idee. Also, warum nicht?
So, yes, thank you. Now, obviously, it was, this location would be possible with several people at CIG, so my thanks go to Manuel, John, Jack, Martin, Farouk, Luke, Chris, Mustafa, Sam, Tom, and Rob. You've been excellent. Thank you to Reysn and his team in Montreal. You know, none of this would be possible without their efforts. And yeah, thanks to everybody here and online watching. Really appreciate your support. On to the next one.
Hello. This is a good segue from the distribution centers, as I'll be talking to you about different aspects of cargo and freight on behalf of art and design. My name is Nick Etheridge, and I'm an assistant environment art director. So obviously, cargo isn't just about boxes. It's a big part of the game. Almost every aspect of the game has some kind of involvement with cargo. And I'm going to briefly go through some of them now. So let's start with missions. How will hauling contracts work in-game? We'll be introducing the Interstellar Transport Guild, as well as formalizing some of the main hauling and cargo companies that you'll be working with. As you do more hauling contracts, you will build up your reputation and relationship with the guild. This will lead you to gaining more lucrative contracts for specialized cargo and destinations, such as different forms of hazardous cargo, perishable cargo, riskier routes, and more. So what do I mean by hazardous and perishable? Well, as you know, there's lots of commodities in the game, and different commodities have different properties. As you know, with events like Xenothreat, we have some special cargo types with different attributes, such as time-sensitive cargo or quantum-sensitive cargo. But those were a small selection for the event, and they were the two-handed carryable types anyway. We'll be expanding those types, plus lots more types, to the wider game and to these hauling contracts. So how does this affect gameplay? It will affect the choices you make when you are handling, storing, and traveling with the cargo. For example, with size and weight. Is it carryable? Do you need a tractor beam? What type of tractor beam do you need? Is it a handheld one or a ship tractor beam? Some containers can only be moved with ship tractor beams, for example. With health, has the container got good integrity? Is it holding fragile goods? Do you need to handle it with care? You can't just throw all containers about. For temperature control, do you need to ensure the container is powered so it can keep the contents cool? Or do you need to get to your destination quickly, otherwise the contents may perish? For security, can the container be locked or hacked? Can the contents be scanned, or is the container tracked? Will there be pirates or law after you when you're holding this container?
Paco hat geschrieben, gib Backen hier Cargo-Variante. Wegen aus dem Ausrufezeichen vorne wird es nicht angezeigt.
Protection against it, as you may have seen in Jens's
Ich weiß nicht
presentation
warum, aber
earlier.
ich finde die Idee cool. Zu
Can it
einer Box.
explode? You might not want to put these containers on a more exposed section of your ship. And many of these attributes are going to be visually distinctive. So conversely, if you want to steal, for example, some cargo on a hull C, which does have very exposed cargo containers, you might want to avoid shooting blindly and accidentally blowing up your potential profits. So look out for those types of containers. Back to mission progression. We'll be introducing perks and rewards as part of fulfilling contracts and raising reputation with these companies. For rewards, we'll have branded ship and tool skins, branded clothing. There will be collectibles to decorate your hab, hangar, or ship, or you can put them anywhere you want. And there'll be more exclusive rewards that we'll be revealing later. Thank you.
Sowas ist wichtig und cool. Das ist dann Progression.
For perks, you'll get access to more items in shops and discounts on specific items. And all of these rewards and perks you need to earn in the game. You cannot just buy them.
Variante für die ach man, jetzt fällt es mir gerade nicht ein.
Next, let's have a look at freight elevators and hangars. I knew you'd be excited for this. I'd like to show you a short video to demonstrate how freight elevators will change how you view your hangars and how you use
Für die
your
Herald. Genau. Einfach so, du musst immer manuell hinten das Triebwerk dran kleben an den Container, vorne das Cockpit und dann let's go. Oh je, so sehen also die Fracht-Elevators aus. Gameplay. Und 30k. So, alles weg. Sowas ist geil. Oh, dieses Ding. Müssen wir das kaufen?
Ja.
20 € im Store, safe. Yeah! Yeah! Wir wussten natürlich schon, dass es kommt, aber trotzdem, yeah! Das sind diese... Hä? Nee, ich dachte jetzt, wir haben schon irgendwelche Ständer, mit denen wir die Waffen transportieren können oder so. Ja doch, da sind Kisten, zumindest schon irgendwie. Da haben wir die Medical-Kiste, die finde ich auch richtig cool gemacht. Ja, die C2-Beladen dauert Stunden. Doch, das muss alles gehändisch gemacht werden, Freeze. Hast du denn die letzten Monate verschlafen? Schlaflieder sind willkommen. Schlaf gut, mein Lohnchen, schlaf jetzt schnell ein.
As you can see, hangars, they
Denn
will
ich
become
schaue
persistent and personal,
in das
meaning you can
nächste
stay there as long as you
CitizenCon-Panel
want.
rein.
Whatever you leave
Schlaf gut,
there
mein
will
Schatz.
persist and will be yours to use as you see fit. Your hangar won't just be a place that you leave from in your ship. It will become a key base of operations to handle your inventory and storage needs, and you'll be able to request your ships from an ASOP terminal from within the hangar itself.
Das ist auch cool. Aber spawnt das dann einfach rein? Oder fährt das
Location
dann
inventories
irgendwie rein?
won't be magic and instant anymore. This means that the freight elevators will be one of the main ways you interact with your local inventory. Items stored at the location can be requested via the elevator kiosks.
Es gibt dann nur noch pro Server ein Hangar für alle Spieler. Man muss warten, wenn da einer. Da müssen alle
This will be
mithelfen.
done through a dedicated interface screen to manage large volumes of items. It won't be using the personal inventory system. The change is obviously a really big quality of life improvement to retrieving ground vehicles.
Es gibt nur noch einen Hangar,
no longer do you have to travel thousands or millions of kilometers to specific places in the verse to get your vehicle. You will get them straight from your hangar.
Alle Items werden quasi wie jetzt schon an einer Location sein und wenn du die woanders willst, musst du die dahin transportieren.
You'll
So wie es
also be
jetzt
able
gerade
to
auch schon
bring up
ist.
ship components, so your
Und
hangar
du wirst quasi
is
dann
now more
einfach
of a
so lange in
maintenance
dem Hangar
bay
verbringen können, wie
and
du willst. Die sind dann
outfitters where you can
instanziert.
do repairs and swap
Quasi,
around items
in
and things like that.
Anführungszeichen instanziert.
So in short, persistent player hangars in combination with freight
Alles dann
elevators will dramatically change what you can do in your hangar. It will be a home to do as you want, which has always been the dream. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.
Hangars werden dann quasi, du kannst so lange dann in deinem Hangar bleiben, wie du willst.
And I will pass you over to Todd Pappy.
Der wird quasi woanders dann sein, als die physikalische Location, wo dann letztendlich das Tor aufgeht, damit mehrere Leute in derselben Location quasi sein können. Also es wird ein bisschen gefaked. Weil die haben einfach nicht so Hangars an den Stationen und so.
We'll be talking today about something special. It's an update on something that we talked about a little while ago, but we feel it's the future of Star Citizen, and it's the actual culmination of multiple different game systems coming together. So why don't you play the video?
So, was ist das jetzt? Ich bin gespannt. Okay, wir sind auf Microtech. Land Claim Site. Oh! Machen Sie es jetzt? Base Building? Es ist soweit, Leute. Oder was? Ist nicht euer Ernst. Okay, ein ganz neues Design hier. So was haben wir noch gar nicht gesehen. Jetzt kommt die Pionier von oben. Wenn das jetzt... Ja, okay, wir können es erweitern. Oh, geil. Bodenfahrzeughangar, das feiere ich auf jeden Fall. Jetzt brauchen wir da noch ein Landingpad, Leute. Aber das... Die Frage ist jetzt so... Ist das jetzt was wirklich bald kommt, oder ist das jetzt einfach nur so, wird's dann, das ist die Vorstellung? Mining. Okay. Ich nehme an, das ist Mining. Krass. Und das produziert natürlich physische Boxen, die man dann wiederum transportieren muss. Und das ist dann guter Content, auch um Progression zu machen. Um wirklich, okay, keine Ahnung, was das ist. Okay, ist das irgendwas, wo es irgendwo hinführt? Glasgang. Ist interessant, dass sie sich jetzt für so einen Style entschieden haben, weil das sind sehr wenige Details und so weiter. Vermutlich einfach, damit man es größer bauen kann, weil man weiß ja nicht, wie viel bauen die Spieler dann dahin und so, und dann halten sie die ganze Geometrie und so weiter ein bisschen simpler. Das sind Hydrophonics, sieht cool aus, okay. Feiere ich. Freue ich mich. Man kann Essen anbauen. Sowas feiere ich total. Steht auch groß Hydroponics dran. Heftig. Da muss gerade gute Stimmung auch in der Halle live vor Ort sein. Was ist das? Pool. Bitte Pool. Riesiger Poolraum. Nee, okay, keine Ahnung, was das ist. Einfach nur ein runder Raum. Eine Medical Station oder sowas sieht's aus. Medbed ist da drin. Genau, jetzt fehlt mir nur noch der Landclamp. Ja, die soll man ja auch in-game kaufen können. Also gibt dann Spieler, die starten vielleicht schon mit welchen, aber man soll die ja dann auch in-game kaufen können. Build your home. Okay, ja. Reverse. Aber wann? Wann, wie, was, wo, was? Brauche ich, was ist jetzt los?
Alright. So
auf jeden Fall geil.
So sieht Base Building jetzt erstmal aus. Really large gameplay sections. Planning ahead and prepping. And then you've got the on-site where you're actually going to build. So with that, you need to figure out what your goal is. Is it to have a home with a nice view and relax?
Gibt's neue Fahrzeuge,
Is it to have a trading post where you want to create and sell items? Is it to gather resources available and move on to the next area? Or is it to be off-grid and be completely self-sufficient? So with that, with your prep and everything like that, we've got blueprints. So the recipes. Everything in the game is fabricated from a blueprint. Players acquire blueprints via reputation rewards, missions, or rare NPCs. With any blueprint, you can actually do research on it and then create different variations. With materials, ranging from the common to ultra rare, you might find them at the local shop or have to travel around the universe to collect them. Unrefined, refined, simple materials, or even complex components will all go into the fabrication. With this, then you got location, location, location. First area is high security, so you must purchase the land. The base is actually invulnerable because of the planetary shield tech. A security will show up to protect it as well. You pay for the privilege, you're taxed. So at this point, you won't have the best resources available. You won't have access to the best resources available on the planet. If you don't pay your taxes, the shields will go away after a period of time, and the base will become derelict and will collapse. But this is low risk, low reward. Then you've got low security. So again, you must purchase the land. It's owned by an independent corp, gang, or faction. Again, you don't have access to all the best resources on the planet. The base is vulnerable. AI NPCs will show up and protect the base if it's attacked. The protection will escalate over time. Player can also build defenses to help mitigate this as well. And then it's medium reward, medium risk. Then you've got lawless. So this is no protection other than what you build. There's shields, anti-air. Players can disable the shields by getting close to them and destroying them. High risk, high reward. Since there's no taxes, no protection fees, you get a high return on the resources that you collect. Now, there's some cross-shard and server meshing considerations that will kind of adjust this design in the future, but we'll get into that later once we're really building it. So from here, you've got the tools. So this is what we would consider a surveyor. With this, we want to actually cater to everybody's playstyle, whether you're solo or in an org. With this, you got different buildings that you can produce, from small, medium to large to XL or XL. So with the surveyor tool, you can only build the small buildings. With a vehicle, you can build small and medium-sized buildings.
Natürlich, neues Fahrzeug braucht man.
With the Galaxy, you can build small to large structures.
Oh.
And then obviously with the Pioneer, Pioneer can do it all. And it still works as a mobile base. And we'll talk about some of the more expanded features that we're adding to it in later on. So, and then it's also, we're exploring what can be done in space, not just on the planet.
Nee, ich kauf das dann in-game.
So from here, you set off on your journey. So with the land claim, you put your tool down where you want, you launch the drone that is built into the machine, and then from there, this allows the player to access the base building and also land claim mode. With the land claim modes, the player can actually change the size and position of what area they want to claim, and it also shows you the cost and taxes associated with it. If it's in a taxable zone and you don't own the land, this interface will default to it. So if you own the land or it's in a lawless area, it'll automatically go to base building mode. So with the overhead view of the land, you can actually place down buildings exactly where you want. You can see the resources beneath the surface. And then you can also place multiple buildings before you actually build. So you can see how it will all come together. You'll see the resources that are needed for it. And then you can also switch back and forth between different modes, which are showing off the resource network and how you link basically power generators to consumers. And then the player can move or deconstruct existing buildings right now with no charge. Fabrication. So when you basically build these buildings, they don't come with any furnishings. And if you didn't bring any with you, then you want to build a fabricator. So depending on what you want to build, there's different sizes of them that support buildings from decorations, armor, weapons, components.
Ich habe jetzt aber langsam wieder das Gefühl, das ist so ein Ding, was sie jetzt erzählen und dann kriegen wir das in 3 Jahren. Und die sind noch überhaupt nicht am Anfang davon. Ich meine, die ganzen Sachen haben wir noch nicht, die ganzen Tools haben wir ja noch nicht mal.
Everything fabricated is produced from it produces a physicalized entity. Stats and quality will depend on the quality of the materials actually used. Once you've done that and you've built your decorations, now you can actually fill the room the way that you want to fill it. So furnishings can be purchased at different locations or they can actually be fabricated. You can do that via first person or in a dedicated mode in the Surveyor's tool.
Geil.
With that, you've got different types of buildings. So you've got utility style, which would be garages, freight elevators, landing pads, storefronts. And then you've got extractors. So with extractors, we want to make sure that nothing in regards to resource gathering is fully automated. A level of player engagement is always needed. So as Nick talked about before, there are different types of commodities, radioactive, perishable, etc. What you'll be doing is pulling out full containers. Then from there, it'll be repairing, or there's wear and tear associated with it, or even misfires like you saw in Thorsten's talk and Guillermo's talk yesterday. There's also upgrade paths for making them more efficient or resilient. Power generators. So with different types of power generators, there'll be some that are more cost-effective as well as effective in different areas. Solar panels will not always work in darkness. Fuel generators will need to be filled up every now and then. And then batteries to store excess power.
Von Batterien haben die noch nichts gehört. Ah,
Then
doch,
you've
da
got
stand
producers.
Batteries mit dabei.
So
Okay.
things that will require the players to combine different resources to produce new items. And then you've got defense. So anti-air, anti-personnel, and then shield generators. And then the big one. We start development Q1.
Okay. Ihr braucht nicht zu jubeln, Leute. Sie starten die Entwicklung.
Thank you for coming.
Nächstes Jahr.
It's wonderful
Wenn
to see
sich der
you.
Plan nicht verschiebt bis dahin. Also, ja. Ich fahre meinen Hype-Meter mal lieber vorsichtshalber ordentlich zurück gerade. Okay, und jetzt geht's. Jetzt kommt vielleicht nochmal was. Hoffentlich mehr als einfach nur eine Ankündigung, dass sie nächstes Jahr an was arbeiten.
Hey, everybody.
Genau, ich hätte auch gejubelt, wenn es hieß Januar live. Immerhin. Ne, dann, aber die sind ja noch ganz weit weg. Das ist ja noch Konzeptphase. Oh, guck mal auf sein Shirt. Ist schon ein Hinweis, eventuell.
I've sort of seen some online comments about, okay, well, that's very cool, but when are we going to get it in the game? But one of the real reasons why we wanted to show you this CitizenCon is because we've hit an inflection point on a lot of the features, as in they're either finished or they're in polishing stage, which is why we're showing them. So everything that we've been showing you here at CitizenCon is our intention. Not making 100% promise, just so everyone remembers that.
Yeah.
To get them into Star Citizen through next year. So it's not going to be gated on having to be after Squadron 42. So we are...
Das war doch schon immer klar, oder?
So we're planning over the next,
Was soll denn daran?
Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 of next year. Hopefully everything that we've shown you, you will have in your hands playing inside Star Citizen.
Ja, ne, das habe ich schon zu oft gehört. Also, da gebe ich
And it's
nichts
very
drauf
gratifying
mehr.
for the team
Schön
and
wäre, ich freue mich
myself
natürlich
to
massiv,
finally
wenn
be able
es
to
ist.
show you a lot of this. One of the advantages of being able to go and iterate on these features in Squadron was that we were able to do it without having to release every 3 months and make sure the old system worked while the new system was working, so we could actually really polish the features, which I hope you could see when we showed you the updated, UI stuff, the updated FPS stuff.
Ja, vieles kommt erst, aber nichts von dem, was sie gezeigt haben, fällt ja unter diese
We're very
Kategorie.
proud of, because this is, after all, an MMO. You want to have as much
Außer die Sachen, die sie jetzt verkauft haben, wie die F8C.
So, as you may have guessed, and Brian Chambers may have let slip a bit earlier.
Ja, okay. Ja.
We are feature complete on Squadron 42.
Da kann man applaudieren. Ja, applaudieren wir. Okay, cool. Feature complete.
I am not, you will not get a release date from me today because,
Gut.
First of all, you always get very angry at me when I give dates.
Warum? Warum ist das so?
So, it will be when I know that we're fully about ready to print the Gold Masters, but it won't be just yet. But we prepared, the Squadron 42 team prepared a small video for you. I may be lying, it's a bit bigger than small. To give you a glimpse of everything we've been working on and what the gameplay looks and feels like. So, let's roll that.
Okay, ich mache dafür jetzt mal den Chat aus, damit wir da möglichst viel von sehen. Ich lasse mich aber jetzt mal hier oben in der Ecke noch. Ich bin gespannt.
Archangel 6, come in.
Go for 6.
I'm getting a faint contact on bearing 287. You picking that up?
Yeah, got it. Scanning that. We're clear. Commercial vessel out of Vega 3. Provided that the civilian traffic is restricted under lockdown.
Copy that.
Archangel, this is Krugeri.
Come back, Krugeri.
Redirect to sector 7 Bravo Echo for immediate tasking.
Copy that. On our way.
Do a barrel. Ach, die Hornet, so geil. Ich verstehe kaum noch was sie sagen. Aber geile Dudelsackmusik. Ich freue mich immer über geile neue Musik.
I know I just wrote you, but a couple of hours ago, proximity sensors on the other
side of the jump got twigged.
Aha, das sind also wir.
Word is it might be that clan we've been battling with. I guess that last fight didn't scare them
off quite like we all hoped it would. Honestly, we've been out here so long, I don't know what to pull for anymore.
Waren das gerade die Charaktere, die vorhin John Tracy erstellt hat?
I just wanted to let you know.
I'll write as soon as I can. Stay safe. Your loving son.
Warum schreibst du einen Brief? Kannst du doch einfach den Sprachnachricht absenden. Zu viel Speicherplatz. Das passt nicht alles auf die Herald, die sie nach Hause schicken. Epischer Einstieg. Einmal Angst vor dem Vandul-Angriff.
Never gets old, does it?
Sir.
Eddies.
I used to do the same thing when I was first coming up. Post up to the flight deck whenever I could to watch the launches. Have you seen the F-8s up close?
No, sir.
The thing's a beast. Nimble, too.
12 maneuvering thrusters and 3 mains. It sure sounds like it. Sir.
Captain McLaren, to the bridge. Captain McLaren, to the bridge.
I saw you apply to the Flight Academy again.
Yes, sir.
Keep your head up. Took me a couple times before I got in.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, was geht jetzt? Ist das eine Realaufnahme oder ist das in-game? Das ist in-game. Das ist eine Studio
Welcome
oder
to
was?
Cloud Imperium Games Manchester
Ja.
Studio. I'm Chris Roberts, and I'm
Ich werde
pleased
ein
to
paar haben
announce that we've
gerade,
just passed the major
wie ich
milestone.
im ersten Moment
Squadron
gedacht.
42 is now feature complete and has entered its polish phase. To celebrate this milestone, we've gathered some of our core leadership together to share what this means.
Wir werden jetzt 3 Leute
We've
zum
moved into
PU
the polish
verschieben.
phase of Squadron 42, which means extra emphasis on ensuring things feel fun.
This means focusing on the small and large elements of the game, such as dialing in combat encounters, but also looking at the feel of how you control your character or vehicle and making sure it's immersive as possible. We've paid extra attention to how your character reacts when in their ship, so that you feel like an actual pilot, whether that's firing your weapons, taking hits, or punching the afterburners to get to cover. Ship AI has also seen huge improvements, with closer engagement distances and more varied behaviors. And with our new precision targeting mode, the action has never been as close. With the aim now on polish, we've organized the project into self-sufficient strike teams, so we can focus on individual areas to deliver the best experience.
Was ist das da oben? Sind das Modulschiffe da oben?
This allows us to bring all disciplines together
Ja, wir wollen's alle
with a
haben.
unified vision of enhancing the gameplay by seamlessly blending it with polished visuals, final cinematic performances, and our ever-improving technology.
Mit Baku will's direkt haben auch.
You didn't see the boat, kid. You're good to keep going.
Was ist das da oben im Himmel?
We're also dialing in gameplay features, such as the ship flight model for both atmosphere and space, which covers master modes, control surfaces, and our gold standard
Was da alles auf dem Radar ist.
Our interaction system for both the world and your character have also seen additional improvements, allowing us to hone and craft environmental puzzles unique to each location, while allowing us to tell the story of the world around you. The military multi-tool
Es
is
sieht
an
aus wie ein
essential
richtiges
piece
Spiel,
of
Leute.
equipment for every pilot that integrates all attachments into a single handheld device and allows us to create really interesting challenges, including physics-based puzzles using our updated rope tech.
Baku schreibt, ich will ein Raumschiff mit Boot zum Abdocken. Ja, bitte, das wäre cool. Und Chris schreibt, die Location sieht ja mega gut aus. Ja, auf jeden Fall.
Power down your ships and stand by for processing. Yeah, you go f*** off the coil's eyes.
Our scanning, targeting, and marker system has also seen an overhaul, allowing us to highlight only the essential information that you need such as key objectives, mission targets, and high-level scan information, while keeping your overall view as clean as possible.
Skank!
Sie treffen halt nie was, das macht mich gerade mega fertig.
Tactical FPS combat and stealth, which has seen a suite of improvements, from improved looting, weapon feel and balance, realistic scopes, and smoother locomotion, alongside our new and improved FPS radar and scanner that provides you an overview of the battlefield, but at the cost of ramping up your own emissions. We've also seen the introduction of our Maelstrom-powered destructible environment, which adds a layer of dynamism to the experience, alongside our improved AI, that can now have hundreds of combinations of traits that allow us to create unique and challenging combat encounters that really push your tactical awareness and skill.
überhaupt explodiert? Aber geil, das sieht da wirklich auch mal herausfordernd aus, geil aus, spaßig aus. Hab Bock drauf.
We play and review the builds regularly and call out action points in each level from start to finish and where we need to improve the gameplay. This is an incredibly rewarding stage of development for me and the team, as the ultimate vision of the game is realized, allowing us to craft an experience that we can be really proud of.
Das sind sehr schlechte Sicherheitslaser.
One specific area that I'm excited to dial in is the feeling of the player interacting with the world around them.
Patching you in.
As it's a core component of Squadron and really grounds the world that you inhabit. We've made sure that any interaction in the environment is physically represented by a character animation to keep you in the moment and fully immerse you in the experience that we've created. Ultimately, this is the final phase of gameplay iteration before we fully transition into optimization and stability on the road to release.
Gibt es irgendwelche menschlichen Stationen?
Always trips me out to see terraforming setups like this. Web tried explaining how atmosphere processors work. Really shows how far we've come. Hell is she?
With the transition of Squadron to polish phase, we've had the opportunity to find additional moments within the existing narrative to add subtle interactions where appropriate. It's been tremendously exciting to play through these areas and find places to augment the mood, support gameplay, and further embellish our story and characters.
So yeah, man, I can't believe it. They said I've got to wait another 2 years before I can reapply. So that's why I figured I'd get a job trying in security, because that's, you know, I can get some hours flying in the cockpit and whatnot. Can't hurt,
Da
right?
stand 31.12.20. Was heißt das denn?
We've also been capturing pickups for our lead female player character, as well as wild lines for our various enemies that you all will encounter throughout the game on both foot and in your
Ich glaube, das war ein kleiner Hint, aber...
These consist of a range of responses and reactions that you as the player can trigger, which has been the culmination of efforts by the gameplay and AI teams. This means that you're going to have to tangle with some very smart and reactive bad guys to complete your mission.
At the heart of this immersive adventure, you'll find cutting-edge cinematic storytelling, thoughtfully crafted to fully immerse you into your story.
We fight today. So in 40 years from now, when you're surrounded by everything and everyone you hold dear and They ask, what did you do in the Battle of Vega? You can look them in the eye and say, I held the line. Men and women of the Second Fleet, I am proud to stand with you today. Good luck. Bishop out.
Nice speech.
Any word from the recon team?
Not yet.
Well, let's get into position.
Ah, ich freue mich so, endlich den Bengal Carrier zu besuchen.
Throughout the polish phase, our team is taking every opportunity to push things to the next level.
Tell me you're expecting company. This is not good.
The Cine team is focused on finalizing edit lock on all of our big action as well as all smaller character sequences.
I could have pulled this off of the Galactopedia.
Yeah, probably, but I think their solar mass calculations are wrong, though.
Well, this is ridiculous.
How so?
We are now able to adjust our shot composition to final cameras thanks to recently crafted space vistas and level art being content complete now.
It'd be nice to know how much of a shitstorm we're flying into.
More like a hellstorm, Blue. One you ain't gonna fly out of.
Shut up.
Now, I hadn't seen another ship that wasn't trying to kill me in days, let alone a hauler, let alone a Jean. So you can imagine my surprise.
Detailed lighting passes can be done on hero sequences so we can show our cast and convey their emotions in the best light possible. And we're making sure our cinematics are triggering as fluid as we can craft them so they form a coherent concerto with the rest of the player's narrative experience.
Mr. Wexler, this is Lieutenant Commander Colton.
Oh, Commander, hey. Julian Wexler, I'm the field manager of this little operation. Welcome aboard the Archon. What brings the Navy to this little corner of the universe?
We got you flying with Lieutenant Commander Colton. He's one of our best.
As others will share, this is the most rewarding chapter of development, which allows us to truly experience the visceral and oftentimes emotional moments that our narrative provides.
How did you handle it after Vega?
I'm not sure I handled anything. It helps to remember that stuff like this is supposed to hurt.
Ja,
I've never
Freeze
been good
schreibt's
at dealing
richtig.
with problems I can't fix.
Viele bekannte Gesichter.
Well, this is one that you don't have to do alone.
That's good to know.
For the animation teams, polish phase means refining the social aspects of Squadron 42 that occur between the various missions and getting the behaviors implemented across all of its chapters. Here we're dialing in the hangar to make it as immersive and believable an experience as possible.
Nur das war gefährlich, der hätte stolpern können. Cooler Effekt für das Kraftfeld.
For example, we're launching off a space carrier, but we still ground the feel in real-world actions, refueling, repairing, and inspecting, and making sure that your next flight mission is a success. This means we're looking out for pops, hiccups, or awkward transitions, and ensuring that everything flows and looks like all the great mocap performances we've captured.
Let's ready some extra ice packs out of storage. Whenever gunners are on full rotation, you can always count on at least one of them getting hurt.
We also have you covered in everyday life. The medical staff work diligently for their patients, whether they're players or crew. We really want you to feel part of an authentic crew. an important part of the UEE Navy in an enormous universe of people going about their everyday lives.
Let's go ahead and clear for takeoff. Ground crew, prep bay for takeoff.
Copy that.
Hangar, ready for launch. Takeoff approved, Baron 2. You have the ball.
Square the deck and light it up. We're ready and hold on as you're launched off the deck of the carrier.
So, okay.
Baron 2, you are cleared for launch. Have a safe flight,
Man gibt einfach schon mal Vollgas. Dann wird man rausgeschossen.
We want you to not only decide how you play the game, but to feel as if the people you interact with are in that world with you.
I would have never thought a shotgun could be so pretty. Damn, this R97 is sleek as hell. Like a lot of other weapons in Gemini's arsenal, it has a higher rate of fire than most guns of its type.
We're working to support a feel of authenticity through world traversals, running, jumping, and climbing.
Das war gefährlich.
Interactions with objects and the environment.
Quicktime Actions. Die machen alles besser.
Solid weapon gameplay and enemy reactions. As well as combat realities, such as weapon malfunctions. Or in close encounters of the more lethal kind.
Sie zeigen jetzt wirklich quasi alles, was sie gezeigt haben im Verlauf des
As we continue to focus on the quality experience, we've been working closely with our art teams, and it's been exciting to see their environments come to life alongside us.
Ey, diese ganzen Sets
While
ist ja
animation
richtig
design
geil.
have been populating the locations, polished
Ja,
face for my
Katapultstart
teams
macht
means making
insofern
huge
Sinn, also
advancements
Paco
in
hat
the
geschrieben,
quality
es
of
macht
our
keinen Sinn mit dem
characters and
Katapultstart.
environments.
Ist schon gut,
We've
wenn du
established
schnell
our
wieder raus
standards
bist,
with
quasi.
recognizable characters like Mark Hamill,
Aber ja,
Gillian
macht keinen
Anderson,
Sinn.
and Gary Oldman.
Also,
We're
dass
now
man so
applying
wartet
this to
noch
the rest of
quasi.
the cast and identifying any remaining tech requirements that need to be closed out.
Ist aber cool.
The story of Squadron 42 takes you through a variety of diverse locations of varying scales and styles. We shared glimpses of several environments before, and there's still plenty out there for you to discover. One of the main challenges the art team has had to face during the development of Squadron 42 is ensuring the visuals are complementary to the narrative of the script. The mood and feeling of a space is just as important to us as it is making sure we hit the visual quality that CIG has become known for.
Oh, good. We can't hack it from this side. Graves, we've got a locked door. Can you give us access?
No, I'm afraid that's a negative, Steve. I would have to add you to our system to give you override permissions, and there's a lot involved in that. It won't happen quickly.
Okay, we'll figure something out.
Everything you see during the campaign has been heavily inspired by the classics of 70s and 80s sci-fi, but with a modern twist.
Oh, nice.
We want everything you see to feel like it has a soul, its own personality, and tells of a history long before you arrived.
Also wirklich von
Crafting
den ganzen
interesting fight
Umgebungen her.
spaces and their connecting tissue
So
has
geil.
been one of the more unique challenges we've needed to overcome for Squadron. Developing our VDB tech to blend seamlessly between tighter traversal spaces and into wider space vistas and planets has proved incredibly difficult but rewarding, ensuring that Squadron flows seamlessly from one chapter to the next, without interruption. Creating a diverse array of locations is essential to us. Our environments need to work from a variety of scales. We need to pay close attention to detail, whether we're working in a dirty engineering vent or navigating the debris of a dying star, wondering what may be around that next corner, or even who may live there, how would they have survived, and what state of mind may they be in.
Also es ist wirklich krass, wie viel sie gerade zeigen.
We've worked closely with our social teams in delivering a cohesive social experience when you're taking some downtime from our refined flight and FPS missions, or even missions of the more eerie kind.
Ich frage mich immer noch, wie linear das Ganze wird. Ob man so quasi Nebenmissionen hat oder man quasi nur eine lineare Story durchspielt.
We'll be introducing new space stations on a massive scale, all brought together and designed to be as tangible as possible. We've thought about their function, their age, and tried to ensure there's a progression in artistic style with each station as you progress through the game.
Chris schreibt auch schon, sieht echt so aus, als ob Squadron 42 bald Richtung Release geht. Ja. Das sehe ich auch so. Ja,
as you
bald
can see
in
today,
Anführungszeichen natürlich.
the teams are working incredibly hard, ramping up the detail and quality to match the breadth of our vision for Squadron 42.
Da muss bestimmt noch viel optimiert werden.
Now, I know you're all asking, when can I play it?
When can I play it?
When we have the locked release date, you will be the first to know. Now, we're in polishing phase on Squadron 42. You will start to see a lot more things coming to Star Citizen, as well as overall progress on the persistent universe. The polish phase can take some time. We have come this far, and we want to make sure Squadron 42 delivers on the promise of being this generation's wing commander.
Ja,
now,
und
even though there's only a few of us in this video, I'd like to extend a big
ich.
thank you to all our staff around the globe who have been putting their heart and soul into bringing Squadron 42 to life. And I would like to thank everyone in the community for your patience and your support. To paraphrase Admiral Bishop, when people ask, what did you do in the development of Squadron 42? You can look them in the eye and say, I held the line. I'm proud to stand with you. Thank you for making this game with us.
Ah, cool. Noch ein kleiner Blick auf die Vendur hier. Und sie haben auch noch nicht... Ja, Eihalteleine, aber schön, ja, wir haben durchgehalten. Ja gut, doch ist es nicht da, Leute. Ja, aber sie haben jetzt auch nicht Story zu krass gespoilert und so, finde ich gut. Finde ich gut. War wirklich schön gemacht. Eine Menge gezeigt, ohne zu viel zu zeigen, finde ich. Ja, das hat sich Chris jetzt verdient. Komm, wir machen mal eine Runde mit hier. Geil, geil. Gut, gut. Er hat Tränen in den Augen. Ja, das kann ich verstehen. Ich habe auch ein bisschen habe ich auch Tränen in den Augen.
You're making me very emotional now. Thank you so much. It's been definitely a long time coming. We're, as you can see on that video, that's Squadron 42 gameplay. So we are really dialing it in and polishing it, and we're really proud of what it is. I mean, anyway, I think it's going to be something I'm very, very proud of. So I can't wait for you guys to play it in the... I'm not going to say when, but anyway. And anyway, we kind of spent the time to craft something that's that beautiful with as much attention to detail and love without your guys' support. Just like we couldn't be building the universe of Star Citizen without your guys' support. So I am, on my side, incredibly grateful. as is everybody at CIG, for your continued support. Because we're
alle so 2-3
building,
Jahre, okay, gut.
I mean, a universe of dreams and stories of dreams, and it's a really wonderful thing to be able to do as a creative. So thank you, everyone here, and everyone watching, and everyone that supports Star Citizen and Squadron 42. So thank you guys very, very much.
Danke auch an meine Community, dass sie mich durch dieses ganze Leid und diese Freude mit begleitet immer. Zum Glück ist es immer mehr Freude.
I'd like to call out everyone that's put the show together here. It's been an amazing job. Tyler Whitkin headed up, but there's a lot of other people. I mean, obviously Jared's been doing his great job emceeing. Leah has been organizing the show, and there's 1,000 other people that are part of our community and marketing side that have been doing it. There's been volunteers that have been helping to do this.
Also, da stand oben im Trailer an einer Stelle bei so einem Übergang 31.12.20. Also vielleicht 2023, vielleicht 2024 oder tatsächlich 2120.
You can feel that they really love what they do and they're very passionate about what they do and they're really excited to get it into your guys' hands. So anyway, with that, I think I would say thank you, everyone. I'm really excited about what we've got upcoming in the future, because a lot of the foundational tech, the persistent entity streaming, and you saw server meshing earlier on yesterday, enables a lot of the stuff that's going to come to the PU, like the base building and the persistent hangars. So I am incredibly excited by 24 and beyond. And anyway, thank you guys for supporting. I will see you in the verse.
Ich denke auch ungefähr wie in Tien.
Thank you so much for coming out to share this with us. Bye.
Okay, Leute. Ja, das war jetzt ja nochmal ein richtig geiler Abschluss. Auf jeden Fall beeindruckend und sehr schön. Das hat uns viel Spaß gemacht, denke ich mal. Mir zumindest. Ich hoffe, euch auch. Und wir sehen uns dann am Dienstag voraussichtlich wieder, wenn nichts dazwischen kommt. Paco hat schon Schiffchen, die neuen Schiffchen für uns vorbereitet. Also Cutter Scout und A1. Wo Pyro. Wenn wir Glück haben, demnächst, also noch diesen Monat, auf diesem Preview-Channel. Oder halt auf der Constellation. Ja, Constellation, auf der CitizenCon vor Ort. Eieiei, armer Paco. Dann hoffe ich, dass du die 2 Stunden jetzt noch gut nutzt. Danke an euch auf jeden Fall und schönes Restwochenende noch. Einen guten Start in die neue Woche und bis bald.